Rams fans and fans of the rest of the NFC West, what is going on? Welcome back to another NFC West Roundtable. I am Sheriff Joe Baggs. I represent the LA Rams, host of Rams Showcase podcast. We also have the AZ Sports fan representing the still the only undefeated team in the NFL. And then we got CG, Ruthless Sports, representing the 49ers. We are going to be waiting for Steezy to pop in a little bit late, but he is on his way. He has a show right before this. That's why he pops in a little bit late. But we'll get to all of that, man. I hope you guys are doing good. We had an awesome week of football in Week 6, man. I know the LA Rams beat up on some Giants. The Arizona Cardinals did something that I did not see coming. And then those 49ers, they took a break, so it was nice. What was that, Mike?
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm excited about this week. Obviously, whenever you and Steezy go against my Cardinals, only good things happen. So I appreciate you guys giving me some good juju, some good Cardinals to talk, or some good games to talk about this in this roundtable.
Dude, I let him get in my head. Why did I do that? Why did I do that, man? I had Arizona. And then I decided it was conditional, and then I decided to just go with it. But let's go ahead and first of all, we'll start with that game. All right, we'll kind of talk about the Cardinals and the Browns, which I'll be honest, I really did not anticipate that being the way that game was going to go. I really, really did expect the Browns to put up one heck of a fight. But, I mean, Arizona, they're laying it down, man. So what you got for me on this one?
Yeah, man, honestly, I think all of us as fans and Arizona Cardinal fans were very, very surprised in what happened in this game. I mean, because it was crazy, man. We get one word that Cliff Kingsbury is going to be coaching because obviously he caught the thing that's going on in the world. And not only him, we got, Chandler Jones, and it kind of seemed like a snowball effect, and everybody was going to the IR. And I'm being dramatic, obviously, when I say everybody, but some big key pieces of ours going to IR, like Rodney Hudson, Chandler Jones not being there, Cliff Kingsbury not being there. And we saw adversity in the face, and when we saw him, we punched him right in the face. We're like, we are going to do this. Now, I understand the Cleveland Browns were hurt. I understand that as well. They didn't have Nick Chubb, but they did have Kareem Hunt and Baker Mayfield. I know he was hurt a little bit as well. But, man, that game was as beautiful as I ever seen my team whip on another team. I honestly think that scoreboard should have been 37-7. They did get a lucky Hail Mary pass at the end of the before the half. So they ended up going to 14. But, man, the way that game, just domination, man. Domination from the defense to the offense. It was just magical, man. Kyler Murray 4 touchdowns. You can't have a better weekend than that, man. That's the kind of stuff that I love to see. We are 6-0 now, number 1 in the division. I like to remind you guys that. But, yeah, man, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that game was absolutely it was on fire, man. We got free matter for the blind. Sorry, Mike, after beating the Rams, not surprised we beat the Browns. Rookie K1 even beat the Browns. But, okay, in fairness, though, I'll give a response to that one real quick. That was a very different Browns team when Kyler was a rookie. This Browns team this year might be the best Browns team of all time. So
yeah, and it's so crazy, man. On paper, this team, I still think they're a playoff team. There's still a lot of football left to go. I mean, we got 6 games in. There's 12 games. No, I'm sorry, I'm doing math wrong. 11 games left. So, man, they can still very well go to the playoffs. I mean, their division is pretty tough right now. I think they're number 4 in their division right now, but I do think that they can bounce back. But, man, the Cardinals are a different breed, man. And I've been telling you guys this. I've been telling you.
I mean, honestly, though, you have been saying it a lot. But, the Cardinals, obviously, they're still getting it done. They are up to 7-0 now.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. We'll get there.
6-0. But yeah, I'm doing the math wrong now. You got me in my head.
Future. That's all you're doing, my guy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's we're getting there. But then we also have the 49ers didn't have a game this week, but is there any kind of update going on with the 49ers, CG?
Oh, we just recently signed linebacker Michael Kendricks. I just posted that like hours ago, and we're adding depth at linebacker since Marcel Harris fractured his thumb. I think he's going to be out, and then I'm looking at the updates of Jermichael Hasty. He's going to be reverted off of the injured reserve and be on the practice window. So that's a good sign that we're going to have the running back coming back from an injury. I'm looking at other updates. Maybe this bye week can benefit us, but we're playing the Colts. I think the Colts are a little bit better this time. I think the fact that you guys beat them at a good time is actually something that people may underestimate now. The Colts are exactly not as bad as what the record indicates. I think with Carson Wentz and Frank Reich kind of jowling, that may concern me a little bit. Can our offense actually produce? We'll wait and see, because it's been a disappointment. It's been a lackluster, man. I'm just so fed up with Kyle Shannon's play calling, man. He needs to know what he's doing with these situations. And I feel like Jimmy's practicing. Okay, that's a good sign, but guess Trey Lance didn't practice this week. So I don't know. We'll wait and see.
We will wait and see on that one. Again, we have that interesting situation unfolding with the quarterbacks. I think everybody knows my opinions on it and everybody else's opinions, except for the front office of the 49ers. Steezy, though, man, we had a tough game for them Seahawks this weekend. I know that you were hurting on that one, man. That was a heck of a football game, though, man. What you got for me on that one?
Man, yeah, like you said, it was a valiant effort from the team. I mean, after scoring 0 points in the first half, it was absolutely abysmal in the first half. It was reminiscent of actually the first half against CG, your Niners, in which, Seattle started off 0 for 5 on their first. That 5 straight 3-and-outs to start off the game. This game wasn't really any better as far as, the way that it started. I think there was 6 punts, 3 on both sides to kind of start off the game. And so that's kind of when we knew when we were in for an ugly evening. But, kudos to the defense for stepping it up. Kudos to the offensive line for stepping it up. Kudos to Geno. I mean, I know it's the second straight game in which he's turned it over in a critical situation in which our defense actually put up a crucial and a critical third down stop, and their Geno goes turning it over again. But, I mean, I think it's a little too much to ask of him to even really win us that game, because that's just not who he is. The defense held up in the second half, offensive line. They were mauling guys. Alex Collins, we had our first 100-yard rushing performance since December of 2019. And that's definitely a good sign. But overall, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm happy with the loss, but I'm definitely we definitely saw some good things. And, we played them a lot closer than people really thought that we would. Everybody was kind of saying that Seattle didn't have a chance at all. There we are, bringing it to overtime. DK had oh my gosh, I don't know what he was doing there, trying to play hero ball. And then he goes in and has a back and forth with one of the greatest tight ends of all time, and Shannon Sharp, and that just makes him look terrible. But we'll kind of get into it a little bit more as we go along. But overall, I thought it was a valiant effort, and I just hope that it's something that we can continue, because we do have a Monday Night Football game against the Saints on deck.
Yeah, we got 2 NFC West primetime games, Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football this week, so that should be some pretty good stuff, man. But yeah, that seeing some of the comments of DK2, Shannon, it was like it felt very out of touch of DK to say some of that stuff, of saying that like his resume isn't anything kind of is. I mean, I'm sure most people saw the comments. It was like
ridiculous.
Like, all right, DK, you're pretty awesome, man, but know your space a little bit. Like
he's nowhere close. Yeah, he's nowhere close to Shannon Sharp. It's not even close, not yet.
Yeah, that was a little interesting situation that unfolded. And then my LA Rams were able to come away with a win against the New York Giants. Those East Coast early kickoff games always make me just a little bit nervous, no matter who the opponent is. But the Rams were able to go into MetLife and put up a big old win, 38-11. And fun fact for you guys, I don't know if you guys saw this information. I thought it was kind of cool, though. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term scoregami, but this is actually the first ever 38-11 final in NFL history. So you're welcome, America, for that one. So, but yeah, it was, overall, I mean, the Rams just are a better team than the Giants, and there's not really a lot to say about that game. We beat them in all 3 phases. Our defense probably had its best day, but I mean, no Saquon, no Galladay, then Kadarius Toney went out pretty early in the game. So yeah, I think the Giants were just a little bit outmatched by the Rams on that one. So hey, but and they're all NFL teams. Every single game is tough, and I'll take a big old win, and I'll take going into Week 7 against the Lions, and then Week 8 against these Texans, and see if we can get a nice little roll going a little bit. So that's some pretty fun stuff. But we do have a bunch of cool games going in this weekend. In Week 17, the first of the kickoffs will be the Rams and the Lions. We got that Stafford versus Goff storyline that we've been kind of waiting for. Rams fans have definitely been waiting for this one. Lions fans are Rams fans now, so they've been waiting for this one. And then the next game that we'll have, that will be the Cardinals game. That one kicks off at 1:25. They're playing the Texans. I did see the comments roll in. Yeah, basically 7-0. It's the Texans. You know, what are you going to – So I was right, I guess. But, hey, that will be – when you guys start saying stuff like that, when you already start counting the win before it happens, that's exactly when you're going to lose. All right, Arizona?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. And then we got those primetime games like I talked about. We'll go ahead and start with the Arizona Cardinals, though, in this one. The Texans, that's not a matchup that is going to, be listed in like game of the week situations or anything like that, but it is still an NFL team, and the Texans still do have some pieces there. It'll be interesting to see like that Hopkins return against the Texans kind of thing. So what do you got from him?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I think that's the biggest storyline coming here. Hopkins going back, J.J. Watt going back. I think they really want to put a licking on their old team, especially Hopkins. I feel like he had more of the disgruntledness when it comes down to, being traded for a second-round pick. And he made the Texans, never forget what they went ahead and then shipped them off for, which everybody says, bag of potato chips. And it's true, man. Highway robbery is what happened. We ended up sending David Johnson along with his contract, and we sent over a couple of picks, and the rest is history. But that's really the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to, man, to see what DeAndre Hopkins is going to do to his old team. I guess they're just lucky that it's not going to be in there, at their home. It's going to be here at State Farm Stadium here in Arizona. But I still do think that we're going to have J.J. Watt playing like his head is on fire. We got DeAndre Hopkins going to be wanting the ball at all times. So, man, I see, although like you said, we don't want to, kind of puff out our chest too much or kind of get on top of the world, but I don't see this going south for the Arizona Cardinals. I think this is going to be, I'm not saying easy win, but I think a win. And I'm trying to be very, very nice here, but if you compare rosters, man, it's completely night and day different. And that's not even to mention our new acquisition tight end, Zach Ertz that we ended up getting. And in our group chat, you said, do we need more weapons? Hey, we'll take it, man. We'll absolutely take it. Adding Zach Ertz into the lineup after, the Max Williams injury, it's a huge plus for Kyler Murray and our Arizona Cardinals to see if we could take that extra step. And like I was saying a little earlier, I just hope that you guys just keep, going against the Arizona Cardinals, Steezy and Joe, because whenever you guys do that, we get the win. So yeah, let's do it. You know what?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not going against the Cardinals until they lose. It's just lock it in Arizona every single week until they prove to me that they're capable of losing. I can't keep knocking down my record like this, man.
Yeah, it's not looking so good right now, man. It's not looking good.
Can't do it, man. By the way, I'm laughing a lot because I'm seeing some of these comments come in on the side of my screen here. Tommy is going in on me right now.
What's he saying?
It's really cracking me up. So
huge shout out to Tommy, man.
He's cracking me up over here, man. That's good stuff. Welcome in, Tommy. Appreciate you being here, man. Do you have okay? Do I even have to ask who you're picking for this game?
No. I think it's safe to say everybody is what is it? All Cardinals. If anybody wants to go against them, you guys are silly.
We'll see, I guess. CG, pick this Arizona game, man. What do you got?
Arizona, man. What is it to expect from Houston? They're going to play a rookie quarterback he's all right, but let's be honest. Texans are rebuilding, and the Cardinals are like the team that's the top team in the NFL. It seems like it's going to be more like a practice or a warm-up against the Houston Texans. So I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals, 38-17.
I think that's being too kind to the Texans. I'll be honest with you, man. Steezy.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, look, I think we all know who's going to win. I think the real question is how many points are they going to blow them out by? I mean, like you said, Joe, D-Hop is going to want to stick it to his former team. J.J. Watt's going to want to stick it to his former team. The Cardinals want to put a stamp, or they want to continue to stamp, their mark on the NFL. They don't want to just, barely win. They want to win. And so that's kind of my, I guess, storyline or question for this game. But if I had to give a score myself, I'm going to say Arizona is going to pour it on. 41, Houston, 7.
Wow. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's like not even crazy though. It doesn't feel crazy to say that the Arizona Cardinals are just going to absolutely destroy the Texans, or as CG would put it, curb stomp.
Curb stomp. I like that.
Wait, but real quick, Joe, I do just want to say though, I was wrong about Cleveland coming in. I thought Arizona was due for a loss, but granted, if I knew that Nick Chubb wasn't going to play, then I probably would have leaned in Arizona's direction. But kudos to Arizona. I mean, you guys did that without Rodney Hudson, without your head coach, without your play caller, without Chandler Jones. I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal to go into Cleveland, into the dog pound, and just absolutely blow them out of their own house. I mean, major props to you guys, and you guys definitely earned some points. So
yeah, we talked about that before you got here. That I was mad that you got in my head. So I'm blaming that loss on you.
Hey, I'm sorry.
I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals in this one. I think it'll be a big win for Arizona. But also, you know what? It's one of those situations where if Arizona goes into it with that attitude of we're just going to go in and win, kind of like exactly how the Rams and the Jets were last year. Like Rams went into that game of like, oh, we'll just who do we got next? Like, and that's it. It's not going to work out that way. That is never how you can do it. So if that's the only thing that I can see this game being close, I don't see that being something that would lead the Arizona Cardinals to a loss, though. This Texans team is not good at football this year. So also we got CEO Top Dog coming in. Shout out to CG, who represents – I'll skip that line. I don't feel comfortable saying that out loud. I just can't do it. Yeah, but there you go, CG.
Representing the disrespect of that super chat, man. That disrespect on that. Super
that is
chat.
true. That is true. Okay, who represents?
I'll rally the troops out there, man.
Okay. All right. So clean sweep for the Arizona Cardinals. Everybody's going to Arizona in this one straight across the board. The next game that we'll go into, because those last ones are primetime games, we'll go into the LA Rams, who will be hosting the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff coming back to town. Nickel Roby-Coleman helped the Rams get to the Super Bowl. We don't like to talk about it too much, but he did help us get to the Super Bowl. And also Aubrey Pleasant coaching the secondary out there. Brad Holmes is the GM. He was with this is his first year with the Lions. He was on the Rams front office since 2001. So a lot of former Rams are taking over the Detroit Lions, and it's the Goff and Stafford battle. That's the big storyline. That trade happened before the Super Bowl. Jared Goff is now 0-13 when he does not have Sean McVay as his head coach, and Matthew Stafford is playing some pretty good football right now. Has 4 games out of 6 this season where his passer rating's been over 100. And we look to continue that one. So for this one, I don't think I have to get too crazy on this one. I think it's going to be a long day. This is the first time that Aaron Donald gets free reign at Jared Goff and can do what he wants to him. This entire time, his entire career, he's had to treat Goff with kid gloves. And I'm not hopping on this train of like, hey, thank you so much, Jared. Thank you so much for all the – no, I hope you fail miserably this week and go Rams. I'm going Rams big in this one. If I got to give a score prediction, I'm going 42-13. Go Rams. We'll go Steezy on this one now.
Yeah, I think kind of the same headline / storyline / question for this one. We all know that the Rams are going to pull it off just by how much. Detroit, they've had some pretty stout efforts. They played it close with the Vikings. They played it close with the Ravens. But, I mean, I think they're also one of the most injured teams in all the NFL. And so for them to kind of go in, they're already overmatched. And to go into, L.A. in SoFi against a hyped-up Matthew Stafford, who also wants to stick it to his former team, I mean, they're going to pour it on. I'm going to go right there with you. I'm going to say 44 L.A., Detroit 10.
All right. And Jared Goff is having a rough start to this year, so we'll see how many points he can put up on this defense. And the defense is starting to look a little bit better now. We'll go over to CG.
So is even a question, man? Why should I believe in the Lions? I mean, the Rams are going to curb stomp them, and it's not even a question. 42-10. That's it.
All right. Do you also have a comment before we send this one over to the AZ Sports Fan? We got somebody's got to rally the troops, CG, since Jimmy is MIA. What do you got to say about that? All right, you heard it from CG.
You heard it first. All right, so I guess I go next, right?
Yeah, go. You're up.
Yeah, Rams. I mean, what else you got to say here? I mean, right? I mean, I feel like if you look at the schedule, man, what a patty cake type of schedule you got right here, man. You got 3 simple games. You got the Giants, the Lions, and then the Texans, bruh. Come on now.
Whoa.
Come on now.
Hey, I didn't make it.
Yeah, true.
We just got to knock down the dominoes that are set up in front of us, man. It's like the Broncos' first 3 weeks. They didn't choose that.
Yeah, true. All right. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be there's really no talking about this game. It's the Rams are gonna win. It's gonna be like a 38 to like 13 type of game. Yeah, Rams.
I would love a shutout in this one. Just shutting out Jared Goff would make me feel real nice. But hey, we'll take what we can get. Dubs are dubs. You know what I mean? Dubs are dubs.
True.
We'll to Sunday Night Football, where we got the Indianapolis Colts making the trip out west to take on the Santa Clara 49ers. That game will be at 5:20 on NBC. CG, what do you got?
It's very tough, man. We're coming off a bye week. We should get some players coming back, but it wouldn't surprise me if we play a close game. But I got to keep it realistic. I don't see the fact that our offense hasn't done enough to give me confidence. So I'm going to go with the Colts 28-17, man. I'm sorry, guys, but the offense is what's letting me down. So keep it real, man.
I just want to point out that, like, I like all these people are talking about how cool CG is, and then he's just picking against his own team.
Right.
Like, they're sitting there typing up like, yeah, CG's the man, and then he picks against the Niners. They're probably like, oh.
I'll take that back.
Yeah. We'll go over to the AC Sports fan.
Well, here we go. So we got Colts versus the 49ers. I think it's going to be the end of Jimmy G if he does play again. Like I said a little earlier, man, I don't understand it. I really don't. To put him back out there again is to kind of build confusion, man. And this whole 49ers, where are we going, from here on out type of stuff. It should be Trey Lance. If he's hurt, I mean, he's hurt. Then, yeah, obviously bring Jimmy G in. But I do see the Colts pulling this off. I don't think the 49ers, although the defense is very good, and I could definitely attest to keeping our Cardinals to 17 points. They did a very good job. It's just the offense, man. I don't have the faith in Jimmy G. I do think the Colts are going to win. I'm going to say 27-24 Colts.
All right, Steezy.
Yeah, I think this game is in Santa Clara, so, San Fran does have a chance. But, look, the Colts have gotten progressively better as the seasons went along. Carson Wentz has gotten better. He's not turning the ball over like we're accustomed to seeing him do. And I just feel like you said, CG, I mean, that San Fran offense has been falling apart. I do believe that if Trey Lance was healthy, he'd be playing, although I'd prefer to keep Jimmy G in. I just don't know what Jimmy G is really going to do with also a depleted receiving corps. I mean, Debo's been doing his thing. He's arguably been a top 10 guy, but Brandon Ayuk, I mean, what happened to that guy that we saw last year? I mean, he just hasn't been there. George Kittle obviously has been on IR. The offensive line has underperformed, and the defense has just been middle of the pack. Like Mike did say, you guys, they held up, against the Cardinals, but that was a divisional game, and so that's kind of what happens in divisional games. And I just don't see San Fran even stopping the Colts offense. I mean, they played the Rams close. They played us close, and they've been playing other teams close. They almost beat Baltimore. And so, like you said, CG, the Colts are a lot better than the record indicates. They went through that gauntlet of a schedule to begin, and now they're going through that softer part of their schedule. And so I'm going to start, we're going to start to see those dubs pile on for the Colts. And they also got back T.Y. Hilton in the matchup against the Texans last week. So that makes their offense even more, I don't want to say explosive, but it definitely makes the offense a little better. I think Indianapolis walks away with the victory here. I say 28 to San Fran 21.
Yeah, that's a good point too about the Seahawks and Rams both playing the Colts, and those are 2 tight games. And like even the Rams, I mean, that was just a 3-point win for the Rams, who now are sitting still behind those freaking Cardinals. But yeah, for this one, I think that the 49ers, I think, are a better team with. Oh, we got to do that. All right, take him out. And so the 49ers are a better team with Trey Lance than without. And I'm curious to see when that transition fully happens and we get that announcement similar to the Bears announcement of, The future is now. And when is that going to happen? You know that it is. You know that Garoppolo's out and Lance is in. And I think that the situation where you're not playing Lance or giving Garoppolo still that window of opportunity to have him be the starter, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense right now. And there's some weird coaching decisions going on up there, but overall I'm going to go with the Colts in this one. I don't need to get too crazy on it, but I think that the Colts they're not a great team. They seem so average this year, but honestly, the 49ers just feel a little bit below that right now. And a big part of that is the injuries. So I am going to give it to the Colts on that one, but I think it'll be a tight game. I think that's going to be like a 3-point.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think it'll be tight. But we also got one more game here, which is the Monday Night Football matchup. Oh, okay. But yeah, it's the Monday Night Football matchup. Everybody picked the Colts, everybody picked the Rams, and everybody has picked the Cardinals. So we've gone straight through so far. We'll see about this one, though. This is the one that I think that we may have some different picks on. So we got the Jameis Winston Saints at the Seattle Seahawks. Who is going to be the one eating that W, Steezy?
All right, look, y'all. Again, I'm going to sound like a homer, but look, I got to go with the Hawks, and here's why. So the Saints, following a win, they've lost every single game this year. And like I said, on previous shows, they've been more of a Jekyll and Hyde type of team than really any other team in the NFL. They dominated the Packers. They've beaten the Patriots in New England, but then they've lost to the Giants in overtime. They've lost to the Panthers. I mean, we don't know what this team really is. I do know that they have a great head coach in Sean Payton. I do know that they have a great running back in Alvin Kamara. I do know that they have some great defensive players in Cameron Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore. But aside from that, what else do they have? They have Jameis Winston at quarterback, who, yes, only has 3 interceptions on the season, but he has no weapons. And, yes, I know Seattle's defense has been awful, but who's Jameis Winston going to throw to? If Seattle just focuses their game plan defensively on stopping and shutting out Alvin Kamara, who else is Jameis Winston going to go to? I'm not scared of anybody on that team. I don't think anyone here can even name any of the Saints pass catchers other than for fantasy purposes. They don't really have any relevant pass catchers to speak of. Michael Thomas he's not going to be back yet. There's still a couple of weeks away. Seattle has yet to win a home game this season. Like, when is that ever the case? And this is yet another primetime game. We all know how Seattle performs under the lights, and I just feel like with their lack of offensive weaponry outside of Alvin Kamara, I think Seattle could feel more free to blitz just because the pass rush really hasn't been there. And I know that when Jameis Winston is harassed, I know that when Jameis Winston is pressured, I know that when Jameis Winston is on the road playing on a hostile environment, he's going to fold. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to start throwing more picks. He's going to fumble the football. And I just feel like with Seattle due for a home win, Seattle having lost, 2 in a row now, this is their perfect opportunity. And in New Orleans, they're coming off, yes, it was a bye, but prior to that, they're coming off a victory over the Washington football team. And so if the same trend were to continue on in this game, they're also due for a loss. And so I just don't see the Saints putting up enough points. I don't see them being able to expose Seattle's biggest weakness, which is on defense. And in turn, I got Seattle coming out on top. I mean, Seattle's run game finally came alive, like I said, against an elite defense like Pittsburgh. And I just feel like the Saints, their roster is too top-heavy for them to really be able to expose Seattle. Seattle playing at home in front of the fans. And I feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game, but Seattle ultimately comes out on top. I'm going to say 23 to New Orleans, 20.
So, tight one. CG?
Steezy, wake up. There's no Russell Wilson. Your team is completely falling off the cliff, dude. If we were talking Russell Wilson, then you guys have a chance. But let's be realistic. The Saints are who we thought they are. They dominate the Packers. So they did lose to the Giants, but aren't they 5-2 or 4-2? Even though the way they played, I think they're going to dominate the Seattle Seahawks. Don't be surprised if it's going to be 31-10 because I got the Saints. Come curb stomping the Seattle Seahawks without Russell Wilson. And that's going to prove a factor right there. Geno Smith is a game manager. He's below average. Like, how is he going to get past the Saints? And your Seattle secondary, it's suspect. Fantasy football, if you want to play any receivers, get Marquez Callaway. He's going to burn up those Seattle secondary and get some points off the board. So I'm going to just say this, 31-10. That's not even a question.
Wait, but CG, did we not watch Sunday Night Football? Did we not see how Seattle secondary held up? Chase Claypool had 2 catches for 17 yards against that.
But we're looking at the Steelers. They're a little mix in between, but I think the Saints are a far better team than the Steelers.
Are they? Okay.
He says we know who the Saints are. Do we though?
Like, do we? I don't. The Jekyll and Hyde, yeah.
I don't know if we know who the Saints are really, but
they're 3-2 right now.
Yeah, I mean they're doing fine, but I mean they've been the consistency. I don't think we've seen it yet from them. There was a comment that I was going to pull up, but I have lost it. Comment section's going a little bit nuts. All right, we'll go to the AZ Sports Fan.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I agree with CG. I thought he was dropping some dimes there, honestly. Without Russell Wilson, I know you're saying, with the whole lights thing, you don't have Russell. Russell is your lights at the end of the tunnel, and you don't have Russell Wilson. Yeah, I did see the game versus, Steelers and the Seahawks, but you yourself said it on the last roundtable that Big Ben doesn't have it. So, yeah, Chase Claypool was held, but is it really more Big Ben than anything? And I do think that, yeah, Jameis Winston's not the best, but even if he has 3 interceptions, he'll have 3 or 4 touchdowns as well. He will let that ball sling, and he doesn't care about his stats. He's gonna run all over him, honestly. And I think, Kamara, I think he's gonna be there as well. So that's not even to mention like their run game as well. So I think the Saints are going to run away with it. And I don't want to, burn your hope or anything like that. But like we said last time, out of these 4 games, including last game, the only real win I see here is the Jaguars. Legit. So I think the Saints are going to pull this off. I don't think it's going to be that much of a curb stomp. I do think it's going to be 27-21 Saints.
Steezy, you brought up an interesting point of who are any of the Saints' weapons. My rebuttal to that would be, who the heck plays secondary for the Seahawks? It's most fans that are not Seahawks fans wouldn't be able to tell you any of those corners up there. And I remember when our game happened on Thursday Night Football, the defensive starters come on the screen, and I remember not recognizing some of those names on there. So I hate to do it to you, Steezy. I am going to go with the Saints in this one. That's a tough one though. And if Russell was playing, I think I would go the opposite way because Russ is he's that X factor that at any given time he can make some magic happen. Geno, I'll be honest, I was a little bit impressed with him on Sunday Night Football. I thought that he was going to play worse. I really did, and I think that his experience and all that it did come into play a little bit there. And I think that he's going to improve over these next few games while he is the guy. I just don't see enough in Seattle to take out the Saints. I think that the Saints are just a little bit too powerful on offense with guys like Kamara and Winston. You never know what you're going to get, So I thought this was an interesting comment. That's actually not the right one. This one here. This one came in. I thought this was an interesting comment. That the Cam Newton thing. We actually heard rumors that conversation happened. Pete Carroll has actually spoken with Cam Newton. Do you know anything about this? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, for right now, it's really just, Pete and the Seahawks inquiring. I don't think it happens. It's just not realistic. With Russell Wilson, if things were to happen his way, he'll be back week 10 against the Green Bay Packers. That's in, 2 to 3 weeks. If Seattle was to sign Cam Newton, let's say tonight or tomorrow, it's going to take him at least a week or 2 to really even learn the playbook, establish any sort of chemistry with the guys. By the time he's fully grasped the playbook and by the time he's really, acclimated himself with the team, Russ is a week or 2 away from coming back. And so unless Cam Newton is willing to sign on knowing that he's just going to be a backup, maybe he'll start one game. I mean, if he's cool with that, then maybe, I don't know, we bring him on board. But like you said, Joe, I mean, I expected an even worse performance from Geno Smith than the one he put up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're talking about a top 5, top 10 defense in all of football going up against a quarterback who hasn't started in 4 years. And yet he had an opportunity to win the game. Obviously, it ended in a turnover, but the fact that Seattle was even in that position, I think that that's somewhat telling. And Cam Newton, I just don't know if it'd be worth it. You know, Geno Smith, he's at least shown to be a competent game manager. He might not be able to win games for us, but what I do know is that he can manage games for us. And for Cam Newton, it's just going to take far too long for him to establish chemistry with teammates, to be able to, work with teammates, work with his pass catchers, to be able to grasp the playbook. And then Seattle's offense, I know that, they're used to having to deal with a mobile quarterback and Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson is no longer a running quarterback. For Cam Newton, he is a running quarterback. And so you're going to have to alter that offense. Things are going to have to change drastically just to be able to cater to Cam Newton. And so at this point, I just don't think that's a real possibility.
I was surprised to hear that that a conversation had allegedly been had, and that's because of all the points you just said. By the time he, I think, would be in a spot to start, that's when Russ is going to be coming back. Do you really want to just destroy any kind of confidence that Geno has now? If he plays in one game and then you're like, all right, who's available? That's
right.
a good look. So I think you would just destroy all his confidence. I don't know for sure, but it kind of feels like Cam was told that Mac Jones was going to be the starter in New England, so he probably asked to just be cut. I would guess that's kind of how that went. But does anybody else have anything on that of CG or Mike? Do you have anything on the potential of Cam Newton to Seattle?
Wait, don't do it. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Honestly.
All right, Cam Newton, for some reason, at least a broken down Cam Newton's better than Geno Smith, man. What is Geno Smith doing here, man? He should have been cut a couple years back. But look at Seattle. They can develop somebody into a game manager, but he's not going to come from behind. He's going to have to, Russell Wilson comes back from 2 touchdown games, right? Geno Smith can barely get you close to maybe a game, but let's be realistic. The Saints secondary, they're going to capitalize on Geno Smith. Geno Smith is known to turn the ball over. But then again, in Steezy's reality world, Geno's going to be the best game manager for that team. And then the realistic reality is your defense sucks. The receiving core, you got good ones. But what did DK Metcalf was doing? He made the dumbest play in football. But what's next? Is Tyler Lockett going to make the dumbest play against the Saints too? I don't know. We'll wait and see.
He's not that type of player, but
he's out here saying that what's Geno gonna do against the Saints? What would Cam do? The game's like a couple of days. Come on now, man.
Yeah, legit. Cam shouldn't get signed. Stick with Geno. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. So we got a couple comments coming in. If you guys have questions or anything, drop them in. We won't be here much longer. But if you guys have a question, make sure you guys hop them in there. Super chat is how you get my attention. They show up in brighter colors, and I'm a simple man. So that's how you get my eyeballs onto your comments here. Not a Hawks hater, but let's be real.
Jamal, hit that like or I'm looking for you guys. Oh, shoot.
So what do you got to say on this one, Steezy?
Look, I feel like I sound like a broken record already. Jamal Adams, he didn't just stop learning. I mean, he didn't just overnight just become a terrible football player. I mean, what he did with the Jets, that's still, something that's listed on his resume. And I just feel like Seattle's just not using him correctly. We've all established that he's not the best in coverage. So why does Pete Carroll, Ken Norton Jr., and the rest of the coaching staff continually put him in positions in which he's having to guard deep, in which he's having to play deep coverage, in which he's having to play and cover, these quick, shifty slot receivers? That's not who he is. And I mean, everybody else calls him this, right? But he's blitz boy, right? He's good at getting after the quarterback. He's good at being able to energize the team. He's good at being able to, lead the troops. He's good at being able to sniff out the run and, get there in the backfield. That's what he's good at. And so I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a terrible football player. He might be overrated. He might be overpaid. He might be bad at coverage. But to say that he sucks and he can't play football and he's not a good football player,
I think that's one of the things that make you suck if you're not good.
What was that?
It's like he doesn't suck. He's just not good at football at all. That's
No, look, okay, I know it might have came off like that, but I just don't think he's being used correctly. I don't think he's, surrounded by the best personnel. And I think that he's, being put in positions in which, his weaknesses are being magnified. I mean, he's just not being put in position to succeed. We've seen him achieve greatness. Maybe not greatness, but we've seen him excel in New York. We saw him excel last year. And so I don't think he sucks as a football player, but he's right now, he's just not being used correctly. That's all I'm going to say.
I was a little bit surprised. It feels like the Seahawks tried to do a little bit of a Rams move, if I'm being honest, like send in ones for a player that you think will help you right now, And I think it was just a little bit of a whiff because like how the Rams have done it, it's, players like Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, so like high impact players. And it hasn't worked before. I mean, we've seen it we're not 100% on doing that. I mean, we traded a one for Brandon Cooks, and that didn't pay off, so I mean, it kind of happens, but apparently we're all secret 49ers fans. This page here says that we all picked against them this week, so
yeah, sorry, Steezy, that face I was making wasn't for you. It was about the super chat. That I was like, what is this? No, don't say this stuff. Come on.
And then we got Top Dog living in the past over here because he's talking about Super Bowls, which
Right.
I mean, hey, all respect to the history of the game for sure, man. Mad respect to the history, especially the 49ers. They got one heck of a history, but what does that do for you today?
Exactly.
True.
That's kind of how I feel. CG, what do you got on this one, though, man? You got somebody saying about these Super Bowls living in the past. What do you got?
Well, like they say, catch up to 5, then talk. Like they would say, don't talk to the hand. That's what they would say. But let's go like this. Any of you guys, I know the hate is real. We're not doing good this year, so I get that fact. But I'm gonna still keep real. I'm gonna keep it optimistic in some ways. You never know. It's any given week. So the Colts can be slipping, and maybe we can pull an upset. But in reality, we got to play better on offense. So let me put it this way. In reality, Seattle isn't what they are. They're declining. It's like, why is Geno such a confident? Like Seattle's starting to praise him like he's Alex Smith 2.0, man. Like what is up with this guy? He's like Cam Newton's better. I'm just saying.
CG, are you okay, man?
Bro, see,
Nah, I'm just playing around.
He hates Seattle.
Where's
Man.
Seattle come from?
CG
I thought we were
is
talking
angry
about
tonight,
San Fran
man.
history.
CG is angry tonight.
I love, but I just can't stand the fact Seattle's been having our number for a while.
We got one here from Heyo Town. Will the NFC West Roundtable agree Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver in football right now? And you're welcome for a great stream. We put a lot of pride into this. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we definitely do.
You know what?
Yo, what's up?
Honestly, this is one of the best starts for a wide receiver season in NFL history. Cooper Kupp is playing lights out right now. He's I wrote it down here. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick if I can find it. He's second in the NFL in yards right now. He's just 15 yards behind Devontae Adams for first place, and he's also first in touchdown passes, and he stands there alone with 7. There's 3 tied for 6. So, all right, what do you guys have on this one? You know where I stand with it. Cooper Kupp is on fire right now, man.
I guess I can go first, so that's cool. Cooper Kupp is good. Very, very good. But I also do think that, your whole wide receiving core is really good as well. Robert Woods, as well as, who's your third?
We got Van Jefferson and Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, I think that you guys are all really good. Not to take anything away from Cooper Kupp. He's doing a fantastic, especially in fantasy football. I think my brother has him in fantasy, and he pretty much takes him up through a lot of wins this year. But nah, man, honestly, the best wide receiver, nah, bro. It's got to be DeAndre Hopkins, man. This guy does magical things left and right, two-toe taps. DeAndre Hopkins, man, he's got to be my favorite.
So when DeAndre Hopkins puts up numbers like Kupp, come back to me with that one. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
The next Rams game, I guess.
Obviously, Hopkins is way up there, but yeah. CG, I saw you unmute there for a second, man. Is Cooper Kupp the best in the game right now?
Him and Debo is head to head, but I got to give Cooper Kupp the edge because he's actually like the most consistent receiver for the Rams for the last 5 years. And Debo, you can't make an argument. He's in the race. He's kind of like competing for those yards. So it's like, I don't want to sound biased, but damn, Debo's playing a really good year. But I got to go with Cooper Kupp on this one.
All right, Steezy.
So I'm not going to go as far as to say he's the best receiver in football right now, but I will say that he's having the best season of any receiver, and he's the best receiver in football this season. I think when it comes to pure talent and, size and athleticism, you're just not going to see him in the top 3, maybe not even the top 5. But for so long now, I've always looked at Cooper Kupp as a very underrated wide receiver. I think if you have to compare, him to some of the other top talents at wide receiver, he could, definitely push for maybe being top 7, top 10. But I mean, to Mike's point, I mean, I just don't think he really matches up to a guy like D-Hop, to a guy like Devontae, to a guy like Tyreek. Not only are those guys physically imposing, but they're better athletes. D-Hop he has better hands. He might be a better route runner. I don't know. I mean, there's so much talent, especially at wide receiver, and so it's really just nitpicking. But statistically, yes, he's the best receiver in football right now, and honestly, it's not close. D-Hop, he's not having the best season, but he's been very efficient. He's putting up the touchdowns, but D-Hop just doesn't have as much volume. And maybe that's, it's not out of necessity this time around, just because, Mike, you did talk about how LA has all this talented receiver, but I mean, your Cardinals also do. I mean, Rondale Moore, AJ Green's having a resurgent year. Zach Ertz is now there. Christian Kirk has been solid for so long, and so it's close, but he's having the best year, and he is the best receiver in football just this year.
I mean, and obviously I have to kind of defend my guy here a little bit because I think his athleticism and his ability to play that wide receiver position, I think, is underrated. I think his route running is unreal. He's inventing routes out here, and with Matthew Stafford being able to do those no-look throws, I'm sure you guys have seen that clip that came out. The NFL was posting it. That he's looking this way and doing one of those to Cooper Kupp, and so that relationship's building, which is nice too. But a big part of that is Kupp's ability to create that separation, on his routes, and he's got incredible hands, and he's extremely difficult to tackle. Like, yeah, that's where I would put him as far as like the difficulty to tackle is like he's up there with some of the best tight ends. Like after they catch the football, it's hard to wrap him up, and that's where I think that he really thrives. His ability to create separation in tight spaces. He's got great hands, and he can break tackles. And I don't think there's anybody in the NFL today that does that like he does. Although I will say that there are wide receivers that I would say are more explosive than Cooper Kupp, such as DeAndre Hopkins. I would even put DK in there. I know that his season this year is not necessarily, lighting anything up, but I think a big part of that is, I don't want to say, I mean, because obviously Russ is down right now, but also Seattle just kind of feels a little bit, I'm trying to say this in not a jerk way. Like they just feel a little sloppy this year. You know what I mean? Like they just
they are.
Like they're not really trying that hard. Like it almost feels like they're trying to make it through the season, not like this is the season that we put it together and let's go do this thing. They're just trying to like make it, you know what I mean? So we'll take just a couple more here, guys, and then we're going to bounce out of here. We got some prep to do for the rest of our weeks that we do here, but CG have had Peterson best podcast. Oh yeah. So that was a good one, man. And CG, if you want to plug that real fast to send people over there, man, you had an interview this week, right?
Yeah, I just interviewed Julian Peterson. I don't know if any of you guys want to check it out, but brutally honest, man, this guy was talking smack on the Detroit Lions. You got to look at the entire interview where he said something about he didn't like playing with the Lions. No, straight facts. Any of you guys who like what I'm doing right now and giving you guys some entertainment, go check out Julian Peterson. He got something to say about the Lions. It's in the description of it's in my interview. So, yeah, it was a good one. I liked them.
That's awesome, man. That's super cool to be able to talk to former players. I know, I think we've all done it in some capacity, whether they're different levels or anything like that, but it's always cool. You see them scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now. Subscribe to Ram Showcase, the AZ Sports Fan, CG Ruthless Sports, and Steezy A Smith. That's where you're going to get the sickest NFC West content possible. Then every Tuesday, we are on the NFC West Roundtable. We all post in our community boards where that's going to be at with the links and everything, so you guys can watch us every single week. These Cardinals fans are blowing us up, even over here on my Ram show. But, hey, I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here so much. I appreciate it. And, hey, gentlemen, you guys have an awesome night.
Thanks, man. You too. Go Cards.
You guys too.
Go Rams.
Take it easy, man. Go Niners.
We got to get the last